Welcome to another episode of Quantum Growth for Financial Advisors. It is your host, John Cutton, just fresh off from vacation, although by the time this releases, maybe not. So I'm not sure, but I am fresh off of vacation. This is the first thing I'm doing from the time I came back from the Bahamas. Mr. Ray Kelly, Dr. Ray Kelly, whatever I call you these days, not a real doctor, is going to be our guest today. As our listeners know, a repeat offender and one of our most sought after guests. So Ray, thanks for joining us again today, and maybe say a quick hello.
Yeah, hello to everyone. Quick story behind the doctor part of this. I was at one of John's team or company meetings, and John read a letter to the group that was a thank you note from one of the interns for the summer. And one of the things the intern had said was, I really enjoyed the sessions done by Dr. Kelly. So at that day, I became a doctor, at least in the eyes of the Cutton consulting group in their firm. So I've now become my doctor.
You are a doctor. You are my leadership doctor, Ray. And I believe whether you have a doctorate or not, I am anointing you doctor at KWM and Cutton Consulting Group. So first, how's my head looking, Ray? Is it shiny? Is it a little tanner than last time I saw you, or not?
It is a little darker. It's just like you got a little shine. It's not the bright white thing. It's like maybe a little brown.
Yeah, there's a whole world outside. Yes, sun and beaches and pools. It's amazing what happens when you take a vacation. So this is going to be a short and sweet one with Ray today. I appreciate you being on to chat with the audience. So I am unbelievably excited about something that we've created. And there's a group of us, as our listeners now know, that we've announced recently that have kind of band together to create what we're calling the Financial Advisor Success Syndicate. And just to kind of reframe for our listeners, again, the concept here is I wanted to put together a group of what I believe to be best in breed experts in different areas. So ultimately, almost like a family office for financial advisors. So I thought about whose shoulders did I stand on to help build my wealth management practice. And I don't know, Ray, if your shoulders hurt, but I'm not a small guy, as you know, a little over 200 and before vacation, 15 pounds. I'm going to go 220 at the moment. We did some good eating for sure. But Ray, you've been someone whose shoulders that I've stood on and our firm has stood on. So I'm super excited to have you as one of the founding members in the Financial Advisor Success Syndicate. And I figured I'll just throw you a softball. Maybe you could talk a little bit about why you decided to get involved when I had asked you about it, and kind of what your hope is of the, kind of the value that you'll be able to bring to the members of the syndicate.
I think it hits on that word why, John. When you asked me about this, came up with this idea, it's resonated with me so quickly because it's aligned with my why. Okay. I mean, my why, first of all, is about shaping cultures. Okay. And that's why I love working with Cutton Wealth Management, help shape the culture there, and all the other clients I've helped shape cultures. I realized when I was just working with individuals in terms of coaching them, okay, I was helping them reach their potential, instilling confidence, inspiring growth, that the greatness that's inside every one of us, but it wasn't complete unless it was shaping a culture, something bigger than ourselves. And this immediately was bigger than ourselves. So this is about the financial advice industry, okay, and shaping this culture and giving back. And that's all about my why. And when you said a community of like-minded people, and we're not going to work with jerks and idiots, okay, we only want to work with people who want to grow and are likable. I was like, amen, I'm on board. So that got me excited right away. So it was again, a softball to me, and it happens to be in my sweet spot in terms of the financial services industry, helping those people grow their businesses.
Yeah, and to our listeners, Ray was my first ask because I knew he'd be an easy yes. Because I knew it'd be right.
I didn't know that.
And in reality, it was an easy yes for everybody. But yeah, and I think, Ray, to go a little bit deeper, one of the things that I really believe, and we've talked about this, is you get to a certain point in your career, and you've certainly done this, right, where you want to touch and help as many people as humanly possible. But there's not enough time in the day, right? You can't, individually coach 100 different financial advisors and, have a quality of life on your own. So maybe you could just chat a little bit around what value you believe you'll bring to the syndicate. And again, to frame this for our listeners, a lot of what we're doing here is creating free, absolutely free, no charge, really good content that the hope is as good as most people's paid content out there. So as you think about, Ray, kind of like on your channel, if you will, because we all have our own little rooms in the syndicate, et cetera, where we're kind of teaching our kind of special sauce, so to speak. Yours is going to be around leadership and building a leadership culture. Maybe you can talk a little bit about some of the principles that you think you'll be discussing.
Yeah. As the financial services industry continues to grow, and as individuals within the industry and their firms grow, there's tremendous opportunity and obligation. Okay, opportunity in terms of grow your business, but obligation, quite frankly, to our clients. And I saw a survey done a few years ago. Moss Adams Investment News talked to the top 300 independent RIAs and asked them what the expected growth rate was in the industry because of this opportunity. Boomers, retiring at a record rate, actually peaking in 2023 this year, but continuing for the rest of this decade. But also just the number of financial advisors, licensed financial advisors, slowly but surely going down because a lot of those retiring advisors or retiring boomers are advisors. Okay, so there's this decline. But with those two things in mind, those 300 independent RIAs, when surveyed, expected rate of growth for a financial advisor is around 14% per advisor per year on the revenue line. So you do the rule of 72. Expected growth rate, if your average, is about doubling every 5 years. So if you're doing $1 million, you'll be doing $2 million in 5, and you'll do $4 million in 10. At Cotton Wealth Management, you guys are actually experiencing a much faster rate. Okay, and it's part of the variable is this thing. One of the questions I ask all of my clients are these two questions. Number one, do you think 4 million is more work than 1 million? And the answer is yes. Okay, John, you guys are going to hit 75 million plus this year. When I started working with you, you were about 10. You used to have 25 people working for you. Now you have 170 or something like that. It is more work. I hate to tell people it's more work to double your business, okay, every 5 years.
Sure is.
The second question I ask everyone is, are you personally interested in working more hours? I have not had one hand go up yet, okay? So the key variable, and I use the word Jenga block, key Jenga block for all of this is leadership, okay? Unless you want to kill yourself, you're going to have to figure out how to get it done through others. Now, most people, when they get to $1 million in production and above, it's because they're really, really good at being a financial advisor. They're a professional at doing that job, that role. They may have a couple of assistants, a couple of people working for them, but they're really good at working with their clients, achieving their financial goals and dreams. To get to 4 million, to 10 million, 20, 30, 40 million, you need leadership. And that's a completely different profession. So what I'm going to bring to the FASS group is how to think about it as a leader. And one of the things that's helped Cotton Wealth Management grow is you jumped on that. Okay, you had leadership in your background, but boy, you really jumped on that, and all the different things we did to develop a level 5 leadership, supercharged leadership development culture. I won't go into that. It's another podcast that we've done before. But I want to break this down to a little bit of a variable for everyone to kind of say, where do I fit? And that's around adult learning and adult growing. Okay. I call it the 70-20-10 of adult learning and growing. And John, you know this, but 70% of adults learning and growing comes from you have to go do it. You got to go practice it. You don't become a great golfer because you watched a video. You have to go practice and play. You don't become a great leader without leading. Okay, 10% of adult learning and growing is books, podcasts, classes. What we're doing right now, if people listening in, is part of the 10% of getting better. And whatever you're trying to get, in this case, leadership, what I try to bring to the equation. The 20% is coaching and mentoring. I call that the multiplier. And I actually believe the FASS group is going to do a fantastic job at the 10%. We're going to bring you our content. We're going to be handing it to you, the best of the best stuff from some really, truly great people in the industry. But you're also going to get exposed to the 20%, the coaching and mentoring, at least at one to many, okay? Because there's going to be literally hundreds of people part of this group, if not thousands someday. You're going to get exposed to some of the best coaches and mentors in the entire industry in small group and big group settings. Okay. I actually believe a lot of the people, when smart, they're going to go, I need more of this. Okay. Same thing that happened with John Cutton. I need more of your time, right? I'm not getting enough and just attending a class once a month. I need to be talking to you on a regular basis. And the same thing's going to happen with a lot of the people listening to through FASS, part of that community. You're going to learn from each other. You're going to learn from these coaches, but some of you are going to go, I need to spend more time with that person. And that's the 20% of adult learning and growing. And I think I'm going to bring a lot around the leadership element of that. Most of your professional financial advisors will have some people that are going to help grow and market, for your business. Tina's going to help. John's going to help. John Randall's going to help. John Cutton's going to help. But I think Ray Kelly and John Cutton are going to bring a lot of leadership, coaching, and mentoring to the group.
Yeah. So super well said as always, Ray. One of the things that I would just share, right? Our listeners hear me talk about, right? These 3 phases of business growth, and 0 to $1 million is usually grit and sales and marketing, and right, the millions. Sometimes I say 3, sometimes I say 2.5. I kind of change my number, I've noticed, but that next phase of growth is about, right, having a repeatable process, a client experience, something where the thing that you do, and in our case, it's providing a wealth management experience, is referable, and you do such a good job, you retain clients and the business grows. And then that third part is where you get that quantum growth, right? And we talk about 3 things: investing capital or cash flow, using technology, and then the last being scaling through people, right? Your human capital. And, I won't use a name, but I remember being on a podcast, a couple years ago. Ray, you actually pointed out to me is that I was ultimately taking the direction of the conversation towards leadership being the key. And the host, who was an amazing host, by the way, kept taking it more into the details of, well, kind of how do you do this? And tell me more about your CPA program, and tell me more about your financial planning process, and tell me more about your compensation model and that kind of thing. And what I believe is, if we fast forward, it's probably 6 to 12 years from now, right? I actually think the businesses that actually double down on leadership and developing a leadership development culture are going to actually be the businesses that are leading the industry that we're hearing more and more and more about. Those who are focusing on the tactics of more seminars, more client appreciation events, a better investment process, et cetera, that stuff is table stakes. But if you can't grow your people as firms are getting bigger and M&A is becoming more prevalent, if you don't have that skill set, in my opinion, you're at a disadvantage. And that's why I actually, believe, as you know, Ray, and I know we're aligned on this, that of all the things that you as a CEO of your own wealth management business, if you want to truly grow beyond a lifestyle practice, which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with having an amazing lifestyle practice, and you need some great leadership skills to do that as well. But to really explode an enterprise, it's around leadership. And ultimately, I can't think of a better firm than Think to Perform to bring that skill set to the organization. I can't think of a better person, Ray, than you to represent the Financial Advisor Success Syndicate in actually bringing that to the audience. So what I wanted to do, Ray, is I wanted to ask you one last question. And as I said to the audience, I wanted this to be a kind of a short and sweet one. I'm going to kind of pull a little bit of an audible, but if you could fast forward yourself, let's say 5 years from now, right? Paint me a vision for what the value is you hope to provide to the members of the syndicate. If this is successful, help us understand a little bit from your view, what it feels like, what kind of value you would provide, and how you might be able to make a difference to our members.
John, a great question. I'm going to pull back because I think back to when you and I started working together and we talked about the vision. I had a vision of how I could help you. Okay. It ended up creeping into the vision for Cut and Wealth Management, not in creeping in the center stage. And I think the same thing for the FASS group. Okay. And what I think about is what people don't always understand. The foundation for leadership is to serve. Your job, they don't report to you. Your job is to serve them, to help them get what they want for themselves. One of my mentors and good friend of yours, John, Doug Lennox, likes to say the foundation for growth is retention. The foundation for retention, whether it's retention of clients or employees, assets, is helping people get what they want for themselves. And thus, I have to serve you. Okay, so that's at the foundation of what I think about for FASS. Is our job is to serve our community of like-minded professionals, to help them get what they want for themselves. I actually have a secret for most of that group. I also know what you need. Okay, you need leadership skills. Okay, the only way you can continue to grow at this rate and not kill yourself is you have to develop your skills and how to get the best out of the people around you. That's one of the things I know how to do pretty well. Okay, and help people develop that skill set. So one of the things we talked about at Cut and Wealth Management is creating a supercharged leadership development factory. We develop level 5 leaders. And I think about that for FASS. If I can in 5 years actually help develop another 100, 200 level 5 plus leaders, people who are out there developing other level 4 plus leaders, holy smokes, the industry will benefit tremendously. And when the leader gets better, everyone wins. Everyone. The client wins, the family wins, the people that work for you win, all of these things. It's just like everything wins. And that's what gets me up in the morning, is making a positive difference in so many people's lives.
Mic drop, Mr. Doctor, whatever you are, Kelly, Ray, I'll just call you Ray, I guess. Yeah, so couldn't agree more. And I think I haven't been this excited about something in a bit, right? Around building out the Financial Advisor Success Syndicate. And I think what you painted is exactly it, right? How do we continue to provide value to advisors? And really, there's nothing in return. We're not looking for anything in return other than giving back and hopefully helping lots of advisors make an impact on their clients, on their employees, on their families, and grow in many different facets. So with that being said, I thought this was our first of a series of kind of introductory meetings with some of our founding members. And, as I said when I started, Ray, I appreciate all your leadership over the years. And I am going to get to share you with hopefully thousands of members over time, as you said, hundreds maybe to begin, but thousands in a community that has one purpose, which is to give back from an abundance mentality to the financial advisors in the industry who, as you said, are nice people that want to share and that are givers and lifetime learners, not necessarily takers and those mean people. So if you're nice and you want to grow, certainly make sure that you check out the Financial Advisor Success Syndicate. We also, Ray, need to figure out, are we calling it the Financial Advisor Success Syndicate, which is really hard to say? You called it FASS. You've called it the FA Syndicate. I don't know what the heck we're calling this thing, but it's not easy. I ask all of our listeners to try to say Financial Advisor Success Syndicate 5 times as fast as you can. If you can do that well, send us a link and maybe we'll bring it out to our audience. So, Ray, any final words before we wrap here?
Yeah, all I can think of, when I heard you do a promo type thing earlier, and when you said like-minded advisors, good people, nice people, and I just thought to myself, jerks should not apply. If you're a jerk, don't apply. We don't want you. We don't need those negative Nellies out there. So I actually look forward to working with this group.
Yes, only nice people. Maybe we'll get t-shirts made. So, Ray, thanks again for being a guest, and looking forward to continue to work on this together. To our listeners, Thanks for listening to and watching, because I think we're going to put this one on video as well, to another episode of Quantum Growth for Financial Advisors. If you yourself or anyone you know could be a good, interesting guest, don't keep us a secret. Shoot us a note and we'll see if we can get you or that special someone on. So make it a great day, and thanks for tuning in.